So, welcome to another episode of Daily Practice with me, Nikhil. And in today's episode, we are going to be exploring 10 common philosophical ideas we accept as truth and how to mindfully question them for growth, transformation, and even ending suffering for us. So that's the idea. Grand setup, but I'm hoping this will be interesting for all of us listening. So if you are joining us, just tune in, take a seat, enjoy, relax, and any of these thoughts, if it starts to resonate, please share your thoughts. So let us begin. The first philosophical idea is everything happens for a reason. Now, when I say that, what comes to mind? And I invite you to open your own perspectives around this question. Everything happens for a reason. What does reason mean? What does happens mean? What is everything? So this phrase can bring comfort in chaos, because then when we are hurting, we can take it literally. It assumes as a universal script that every event has some intentionality. Things are meant to be, including tragedy, injustice, and that's a heavy and potentially harmful view. But does meaning really come from the event? Or is it something we make it? Is it something we create? Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. This is what Viktor Frankl said. Meaning-making machines, that's what we are. We are not just human beings, we are meaning-making machines. But assigning some reason to pain can be helpful to bypass empathy. It can be like, oh, I don't need to feel empathetic because it is for a reason, and then I can move on. So everything happens for a reason. I invite you to explore it further in your own mind. Maybe closing your eyes, ask yourself, what if I stop asking why this happened and start asking who I want to become because it happened? And that's a good way to look at this overall picture of everything happens for a reason. Now, everything happens for a reason is a broad term, and this can invoke a lot more concepts, a lot more idea. But everything, what does everything mean? Anything which happens to you happens for a reason. That means everything that has happened before that happened for a reason. That means everything that happened before that happened for a reason. And if you go by that logic, then we will come towards the point where it all started and then what happened. So it goes into that existential what happened before the universe kind of questions, and it all breaks down. But in the short time we have here, we get so much comfort from providing reason. Oh, I failed at that because I was not good enough, or I created this and is because I felt the pain of things. I started this because I had to show, or there was something which helped me, move me. I created, I jumped, I did all of that. Everything happened for a reason. And what is the reason is something which we completely created. Now, you can be critical here. You can be like, oh, no, there are some things which are reasonable, or that happens for a reason, And I'd invite you to explore that further. So things like, for example, if the clouds build up, then it rains. The clouds build up because the reason is the water content in the atmosphere is high, and then it rains. So that is something you can say, oh, rain happens because of this reason. Now, if we take that same example and say, like, why did the cloud build up? Then you say, because of something external, and then we keep going and then keep going. So we never understand the full reason. We can always find a reason, but we don't understand the truth. So this statement may be true, may be lie. We don't know, but it's up to us to use it wisely. Understand that you have more agency. I'm late, but I've arrived now. That's one way to look at it. Yeah, wonderful. The second philosophical question which we are going to explore today is, you create your reality. Now, this is a good one because we try to practice this in our reflection sessions, in our meditations, in our mindfulness-based work. While this belief highlights the power of perspective, it can easily morph into something called spiritual guilt. If something bad happens, we start to find guilt associated to it. Did I manifest it? Did I bring it to reality? Now, this is a dangerous cycle. Although we want to believe that we can create our reality through our practices, through our mind, through our body, through our way of being and belief and expectations and working towards what our future self is all very important. But if something that doesn't align to that appears or happens, we start to associate that in a negative way and try to distinguish between our reality and interpretation. So we start to fall flat when we try to do that. And this is very deep and is very difficult to quantify and clearly identify that you are not creating something out of guilt. It is something which is happening to you. And it is not something which is manifested in the same way you talk about manifesting success, manifesting reality. Bad things and things like that happen because we are who we are. The world is a chaotic place. You are born from chaos. It is always there. But things like that happen and we assign this spiritual guilt. And that is not the circumstance. It is actually the story we say. So it's not just something bad happened. It is then the story we are saying to the bad thing, saying this is bad for me and I will never grow from this. Whereas if the story is, okay, this has happened to me, this is external, this is nothing I can do, or this is internal, there is something I can do, then this thing becomes real and we can then take action. So external systems like racism, poverty, illness are real, and awareness doesn't just erase them, but there is this question, can I hold both truths? That I can influence my world and that I am part of a larger ecosystem. So we can, we are part of this universe. We are universe in some sense. So the idea that oh, I can manifest my good stuff and the stuff which I want to do, but I cannot take in anything about the world, is kind of falls apart with this argument. So I invite you to think of it as you are the universe. So you influence the world around you, and the world around you influences you. But often we just focus on the aspect of the world trying to influence us rather than us trying to change or influence the world. So that's where we get caught up most of our time. And then through practices such as mindfulness and other modalities, we start to cultivate the belief that we are capable of change. We are capable of changing the circumstances, the reality. So you create your reality. Again, you create your answer. What do you feel? Whether it's a truth or a lie. The third one I want us to explore is follow your bliss. This phrase was never about momentary pleasure. It's about aligning with the path of deep vitality, even when it's hard. So bliss isn't always easy or pleasurable. Sometimes it feels like fear. But what if your bliss is disguised as discomfort, like public speaking or parenting? It may be discomfort by inducing. The true purpose often requires effort, not escape. So, following your bliss, what brings you alive and challenges you to grow? Follow that. So, this could be another idea which can help you in your path. So, just asking yourself, following your bliss, is that true? Is that a lie? And the fourth philosophical concept or an idea is just be yourself. Very liberating. Just be yourself. But that actually escapes one crucial point. That assumes that you have met your true self. That assumes that this is your true self. But we all know most of us have been shaped and conditioned through pain and society and people and things and roles and responsibilities in societies. So which self are we referring to? So this unexamined ego or the conscious inner witness, who is this? So be yourself can be a lazy excuse to avoid evolution and to avoid progress. Very crucial. I understand where this comes from. Be yourself. It's great. Just try to be yourself. And sometimes our self is not something we are proud of. And I've been there many times, not feeling proud of myself. So when people say, oh, just be yourself, I don't feel it. I don't feel like I can be myself. I have to be someone else. So if that is you, just understand that just being yourself means more to our potentiality to change. So being yourself is a question about your inner self. Who am I? Who am I becoming through daily reflection and presence? So when this philosophical question will be asked, just be yourself. Ask yourself, who am I becoming through daily practice? Another often used philosophical statement is, time heals all wounds. Yeah, time softens things, but healing requires attention. I think we talked about this previously, but I think it's worth mentioning again. Left alone, wounds can fester. Healing is not passive. Healing is active. Time creates space, but it's what we do with it that matters. Grief, trauma, and regret need care, not just distance. So, when this question is present to you, or this statement is presented to you, what needs tending in me right now can be the question you can ask yourself, not just more time. And often we fall into that bucket because that's the easiest option. That's like the way in which we explain everything. Oh, just give it time. But how much time? What is time? What if you are able to overcome the thing which you thought in a matter of seconds if you took action? We never explore these kind of ideas. We think, okay, if something happened to me in that instant which happened to you, you're not talking about, oh, this something happened to me over time. It just happened and then you had a reaction. So what if something else happens and you don't have that reaction? And that alleviates what is happening, or that action you took changes your understanding. So I invite you to think about it. If you are holding on to things for time to heal and it's not still healed, maybe there's other ways to look at it. Maybe there are ways in which you can support yourself. Maybe you can try something different. So yeah, that's another question which often comes up. Is time heals all wounds? Another from the book of Law of Attraction, which is the universe will give you what you need. I understand manifesting. I understand how it can work because it has worked in my life. And I understand where this idea of law of attraction comes from. Also, it comes from a good place. But when we start to just believe that the universe will just give you what you need, this can create false hope, passive waiting. It assumes that this benevolent force will do the work for us. But what we want to think about is we are co-creators. What is interesting is that the universe doesn't give, it responds. So it needs our participation. Sometimes it's not the universe's job. Even though you might be considered part of the universe, it's not the universe's job that you want this new thing you are looking for, new business, new job, new partner, whatever it is, new work, new home, all of that. Universe doesn't care about that. You care about it. But you are part of the universe. So if you want to go get it, you have to participate. And that is where I think true manifesting or true attraction and things like that, which are talked about, happens, is when you start to take conscious, mindful action towards the thing you want. You start to change, you start to shift, you start to move, you start to become clearer in your vision. You start to notice things for what they are. So I invite you, invitation is always there, that when you are stuck in this, or if you are stuck in this idea that, okay, I just have to think about it and it'll come, ask yourself, if you are the universe and you have so many things on your plate, so to speak, would this thing be really important? And the answer probably will be no, because there's so many things as a universe. There's so many atoms, so many molecules, so many things which are exploding in the Big Bang and the cosmos. And then there's tiny things which are like called leptons and like, yeah, so a lot of things to manage. And then, your promotion might not be the number one thing in universe's agenda, but it is something important for you, and that needs to be taken care of. So the idea is you have to get involved in some form. not just by thinking, although thinking in a specific way helps, and that specific way is more positive, is more engaging. That's the way you think about it, is that you already have it. You already have what you want, and you're still working for it. And that shifts the perspective. So if you take back to the example of how I quit smoking, is I started to believe that I am a non-smoker while I was smoking 20 cigarettes a day. Started to believe, one step at a time. I started to write it. I started to meditate on it. I started to take action on it. I used to tell my friends while I was smoking, I am a non-smoker. And they used to laugh. I used to laugh. I used to think that this won't work. Over time, with practice, the subconscious mind started to believe I'm a non-smoker. The cigarette started to taste little less sweet, even though it never was sweet. The cigarette felt like a chore, and then suddenly things changed. And that is how you take action. Action doesn't mean you are like doing something physical, it is also mental action. So, just a side note, that universe will give you what you need if you act on it. So, take action. Another thing which we talk about is letting it go. Let it go. Favorite Instagram advice, favorite Hollywood advice, all of that. It is wonderful to hear the statement, let it go. But things like trauma doesn't just go away when we command it. Things like anxiety, depression, all these complicated physical, mental ailments don't just go away when we just say letting it go. There is a process. So for things which are difficult, there is a process. And the idea is integration. So it's not just about letting go, it's actually integrating this thing into our lives and reframing and processing it. Can help it let it go. Sometimes it will go, but then more times it will start to lose its grip on you. So you can't let go of what you haven't truly met. So try to meet it. Try to meet what you are letting go. So my question to you is, what are you trying to let go? And another question is, are you able to let it go? So if the things you're trying to let go and doesn't go, those are the things which we are talking about. Those are the things like which we need a different approach. Repression is not release. So you just holding it in more tightly doesn't mean it's going anywhere. It's actually you're integrating it. It's a form of integration. So we should do that with our positive emotions. When we hold on to negativity, there is a genuine change in our genes, in our body. We know this for sure. But also, when we look at the positive sides, when we say, I love myself, I integrate it completely, and I hold it really closely, that actually changes how we believe, how we interact with the world. So, letting it go on its own is not just it's not really a wonderful advice. Sure, there are things you can let go easily. Sure, there are things you cannot let go no matter how much you try. So it is all about integration. It's all about reframing. It's all about processing. So, can I sit with this feeling long enough? Can I be with this feeling long enough to understand what it is, what needs it, needs, what is it about, what is coming from? And that's how you start to let it go. And the eighth, only two more to go. Eighth philosophical question that could be true or lie, depending on who you are, where you're from, how your mind is love yourself first. Now, again, yeah, I totally love myself now, but it wasn't the case maybe a few years ago. And it was interesting for me because all of the advice, all of the meditation teachers, and everything which I encountered were telling me to love myself first. And at a time when I was not able to do that, I felt stuck. It's often said to encourage self worth, and it is the truth is, in my opinion, this is my opinion, the truth is, if you not learned how to love, then you will not be able to love yourself or anyone for that matter, especially yourself. So I had to learn how to love. And this is where I think it is important to understand that love yourself first is a blanket statement, but the truth is, self love is often learned. Actually, most of the love is often learned. There are some unconditional things which happens and you feel that, but most of the things you love, you have learned. So you learn to love, and then you love yourself, and then you love others, or you learn to love, and then you love others, and then you love yourself. But the key is you have to learn how to love. Now, how do you learn how to love? And the answer is simple: practice. Simple practice of showing up with the intention of showing love. Now, this is different from a false pretense of, oh, I love you kind of thing. This is more of the, I am going into this thing, whatever is happening, with the intention to learn about my way of expressing love. And you have to trial and error it out a lot. Some of us are lucky. We have had a great upbringing where we were taught how to love at a very early age, and for them, loving themselves come easily. But most of us, I'm assuming here, I can be wrong, don't know how to love. And you can test this out very simply. You can just ask yourself or someone, how do you love yourself? And the answer can give you clues on what that means. So I invite you to, learn, practice. So we co-regulate emotionally. We learn safety by being seen in safe relationships. Self-love is not isolation. It's growing through compassion, reflection, and connection. Maybe asking yourself, who mirrors love back to you? How do I treat myself when I am with them? That can be clues on how to learn love. So yeah, interesting. Interesting when we discuss all this, what comes up. And the ninth one is, you are not your thoughts. And this is the key teaching in everything we do here, but can be misused to ignore patterns of harmful thinking. So you are not your thoughts often can bypass a lot of things, but your thoughts have a part to play, and the part it plays is its impact on your nervous system, your speech, and your relationships. So yeah, you are not your thoughts, but the thoughts have an effect on your body. So don't believe everything you think, but also don't ignore everything you think. So what thoughts keeps on returning? That can be a clue. What wound or what thing might it be revealing? That could be another clue. And that is how you ask whether this statement, "you are not your thoughts," is true or a lie for you. And true or lie is a black and white kind of statement, but I know we are all thinking life is not just truths and lies. There is a full spectrum of half truths and half lies, which we haven't even explored. But the last one, which I want us to just explore before I shut up, because I've been talking for a while, is pain is a teacher. Very, very easy to fall into this trap. Pain can teach us, but pain for the sake of pain is just suffering. Romanticizing pain, which has been happening all around us, can trap us. The idea that you need to have pain before happiness is so embedded in our psyche that we cannot just be happy. And whenever we are happy, we think, oh, there's something around the corner which is going to take it away. So pain is just feedback. It does not mean you are failing. It doesn't mean you are not working. Doesn't mean that there is something wrong. It just means that there is some signals which are happening to you. You are interpreting it as pain. It's difficult, I know. So learning from it, yes, we can do it. But what happens is we identify with our pains more than our joys. How many of us have said, I am busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so tired. I'm so aching. How many of us say this all the time? Whereas how many of us say, oh, I'm happy. I'm feeling good. Even though you may be feeling exactly the same as another day, how many of us actively take out the things positive which are happening to us and then project it out into the world? How many? Not a lot of us. And I invite all of us joined here to practice that. Next time somebody asks you how you're doing, say the positive thing that comes to mind. Why does it have to be a thing which is either painful or suffering? We often say, oh, yeah, it's so bad. I feel so bad. Yeah, you can feel bad. And I'm not saying don't hide away from what is happening. I'm just saying, how many times do we actively say, the question was, how are you doing? Not what is happening with this situation. The question was, how are you doing? And we often say the negative thing. So think about it. What has pain taught you? What are you ready to leave behind right now with this identifying with pain? So, thank you for this exploration. None of these ideas are all wrong, but none of them are complete. Truth isn't what sounds wise or looks cool on a short video like this, but truth is what frees you. So you can be like, none of this matters to me, but I can still be free. Or you can be like, oh, this one actually piqued my curiosity, and I think that can be something I can work with. So in your daily practice today, notice which phrases come up and resonate with you. Ask, does this help me suffer less, love more, and grow deeper? If not, you're allowed to let it grow, allowed to let it evolve. So stay kind, stay curious, stay in practice. This is Nikhil, and this has been another daily practice. live. Thank you for joining me. Hope you were able to take something out of this. I would love to know your thoughts and comments and everything in between. Please share it, and I will see you again on another journey. Thank you.